What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Blade Bias. Today, I have a package here. Well, I should say I've had a package here for about 5 days now, but you know, the mailroom is super sick and didn't tell me about it because they've been having issues with their notification service. So I only just found out it was sitting in there when I got the tracking from the person who was sending it to me today. So that's pretty cool. I don't know, man. This is the second time that I have had mailing issues with a pass around, so this is the second time that I am holding up a passing round. So sorry about that, but I'm pretty sure what's in here is the Canto Group Origin. We're going to open it together. That's the only thing I'm expecting. There could be a few other things that it is if someone decided to send me something without notifying me. But Canto Group, you might immediately recognize that as the funny oil guy who made the scented oils. He doesn't really do that anymore, which is the reason that I really only recommend Carbon Honey to people. But he also designs balisongs. He was known for the Angler, which I really wasn't a fan of. And now he also made the, oh gosh, there was that blue one. What was that thing called? It was like the precursor to the Origin. Oh, now I gotta find it, dude. I can't let this one escape me. The Meta. Yes. So he made the Meta, and then he made the Origin. I thought I remembered trying an Origin at Blade Show 2022, but he didn't release the proto run until December 2022, so even though I distinctly remember trying an Origin, maybe it was at the last Blade Show this year. I'm not sure. But it's been a while, so I want to give the Origin another chance. Spoiler alert, I wasn't a huge fan of it when I tried it at Blade Show. Definitely willing to give it another chance, which is why I wanted Canto to send me one, because, you know, Blade Show is a time of craziness, and if it was 2022 and I tried an early prototype of it, it could have changed a lot. My preferences and my skill could have changed a lot. If it was at 2023, I mean, 2023 was just an absolute fever dream. So I want to give it the respect that it deserves by trying it, you know, not in Blade Show. But I guess I'm talking a lot about the Origin. Let's dig into this thing and actually make sure it's an Origin. So far, it's just the daily deals at the local supermarket. I don't want that. I already worked as a cashier for long enough. I have deep recessed memories of that place. Well, I guess not that place, but the supermarket. Squid Industries box. Watch me be wrong, and this is just like a Nautilus V2 or something? It is the Origin. Okay, cool. So Canto sent this to me as part of a pass around. Thank you for including me in the pass around as always. Oh no, Alfredo R. Don't show my Discord quick. Put that away. Thank you for including me in the pass around, Canto. I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to getting the chance to try out the Origin again. So the Origin is a balisong that I think gets the short end of the stick quite a lot, and I mean, I give it the short end of the stick quite a lot because this is the Prisma Pro kind of gap in the market that was filled by this before the Prisma Pro ever even existed. This is 7075 440C blade, coming in at around $185. If you get a perfect one, it's a little more. If you get a highly blemished one, it's a little less. But like around the Prisma Pro kind of price tier, we have the Origin, which was designed by Canto and has a really, really cool blade. You got these bubbles on there. I really like it. And then it kind of flares out. Is that a bite hand? That's a bite handle indicator. Ooh, I can't imagine that's going to do anything. But very, very cool blade. Canto has showed me a few of his designs throughout the years. And they all have really, really cool blades. In fact, he's been teasing one. I completely forget the name of it, but it's got like a sunrise kind of blade on it. And I just love it. I just don't have the money for it, unfortunately. But it's a pretty nice looking balisong. Immediately I'm noticing very Kraken-like jimping right here that extends far more than the Kraken. Tiny little speed channel, kind of reminiscent of, I guess the whole side of this looks like a speed channeled Kraken, if you want me to be honest. I'm not saying you ripped it off at all. I just, you know, the similarities are a little difficult to ignore. Granted, the Kraken is literally just jimping and a line, so it's not like Squid was the most creative in that, so not holding it against it, just pointing it out. The jimping does feel very similar to the Kraken, so however you feel about the Kraken jimping, you'll probably feel about this. Also noticing these weights are very high up. You'll notice that there's a lot of extra material in between the end of the handle and the weights. Interested to see how that's going to manifest in flipping. And also it looks very square. But first of all, since this is, you know, an oil person's balisong, I'm going to give it a sound test. Because you kind of have to. Oh, already. Wow, and what a sound test that was. Holy cow. These are very tight tolerances. Yeah, wow. This is a pass-around model. That's really tight tolerances for a pass-around model, and it sounds incredible. Damn. I would put some Canto lube in it, but I can see that it was just lubed, or maybe that's just really old, but still, it looks wet, so it's good enough. Let's give it a flip. This is my first time flipping it since I don't know when, because like I said, I thought it was 2022. I guess it wasn't. It couldn't have been. Ooh. Okay, already off the bat, way different than I remember. What I remember from Blade Show when I got to try one of these, or maybe it was the Meta? No, it was black. I remember. The Meta was usually brown or blue. I don't know, man. I swear I've tried one of these before. And I remember thinking, meh, it's a pretty standard handle bias balisong. A little too much handle bias for me, but, you know, it's cool. Not really getting that here. It is definitely handle biased, but we're not talking like Kraken Trainer V2.5 or even Kraken Trainer V3 levels of handle bias, I would say. It's just a very standard slight amount of handle bias. Lot of end weight, but also not lack of tip weight. It feels pretty good overall. The only thing I'm kind of noticing is a little bit of weirdness on chaplains, where you can keep it under control pretty good, but if you ever miss a beat, it'll just kind of fly off, which I don't know, it might be due to these weights. I'm no expert on balisong distribution points like that, but my guess would be, wow, that is bouncy. My guess would probably be the weights, or maybe there's just too much momentum causing it to spin out. I don't know. But if you keep it in control, it chaplains fine. It chaplains perfectly fine. Not any problem at all of that. I actually pulled up the specs before this video, but I just want to check again. This weighs 4 ounces. Wow, that feels way heavier than 4 ounces. Bushings, obviously, forgot to mention that. But this does feel way heavier than 4 ounces. I don't know if I'm just getting so... What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know if I'm getting so used to other balisongs like the Orion and the Prisma, which are less than 3 ounces. Or sorry, less than 4 ounces. That's causing me to feel like that, but it just... I mean, I remember the days when the Arctic felt light to me, and nowadays when I pick up the Arctic, it feels about as heavy as the Origin. Oh. No, the Arctic definitely does feel heavier, but maybe the Nemesis? No, the Nemesis feels heavier too, which makes sense. It's 4.3 ounces, but I don't know. The Origin just feels heavier than it is. It could just be that momentum, because it is carrying a lot of momentum. Other things I'm noticing, very blocky handles, reminiscent of like a Prisma V1, and this surface texturing is like sandpaper. Holy cow. A lot of grip there, but also a lot of discomfort when I rub my hands like that. But you don't really feel it when you flip it, so I'm not that concerned about it. This is just a solid balisong. I don't think... The thing with being like someone who evaluates balisongs, I know I don't do it on this channel, but I still offer critique on this channel, and also I make reviews on my main channel sometimes. Don't, you know. But the biggest thing is like whenever something is just good, it does everything right. There's not much to say. And I'm kind of getting that with this. I think this is going to be a situation where I really do have to spend a week with it to really kind of dig into what makes it tick. And that second video will be a little more interesting, or maybe not. Maybe this is just a solid ballad song that does everything that I want it to well enough for me to not complain. Which, honestly, it's not the highest honor I can bestow, obviously, but it's a really, really, really high honor. You know, when something is just good to the point where you don't really have any complaints, that's pretty good. Let me compare it to my Orion, which lately has been my favorite ballad song because of a little something that I like to call Wabam. Yeah, these are super cool. I'm going to make a video on them later. But the Orion has absolutely been my favorite thing to flip lately because of those spacers. Yeah. I mean, obviously the Orion's a little smaller, a little lighter, but the Origin just does what I want it to do. It fans all right. Rollovers feel good. Aerials are nice and predictable. I'd pick this over a Kraken Trainer. I would say that. This is definitely beating the Kraken Trainer out for me. I don't know if it's beating the Prisma lineup for me just because the Prisma has that lighter weight to it, and I just prefer that lately. My hands are getting lazy in flipping. I like the lighter ballad songs. But it's still very, very good. You got enough handle bias to make the handle bias people happy, but not too much where the non-handle bias people aren't going to at least get something out of this. Like me, like I said earlier, I was expecting it to be fairly handle biased because of my experience with it previously at Blade Show. But doesn't seem to be the case. It just feels good. I would compare it probably to something like, actually what I was going to say I'd compare it to something like the Serpent Striker V3, which is to me just like the most bog standard handle bias trainer I've ever tried. I don't think it's that. This still does have a lot of personality. Joker fans pretty well, actually. Yeah. No, I like this. I do think the biggest thing, though, is just this bite handle indicator. If I had to offer any critique in the first impressions video, bite handle indicator doing nothing for me. It just feels like there's something stuck to my blade and I can just like scratch it off and it'll be fine. So, I mean, you can see it. Like, it is nothing. But other than that, yeah, feels pretty good. Good job, Canto. This is way, way better than I remember. I actually am enjoying this quite a bit. Like I said, definitely would put it above a Kraken Trainer for me. But, I don't know. Maybe I need to try the Kraken Trainer V3 again. Really solid. For me personally, I think it's just a bit too square. If this had a little bit of roundness to it, like if we cut down these corners a little bit, I think, honestly, I would put it really high on my list. Not to say it isn't going higher on my list. This is definitely beating out a few other ballad songs that I'm currently thinking of, which I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to offer that up in a first impressions video, but just something to, yeah, it's good. I like it. Super solid. I know I'm going to get the question, where do I buy these? Pretty sure Canto releases these sometimes on his Instagram in a drop system. So go follow him on Instagram, Canto Group. I'm sure most of you are probably following him already anyway, though. And go follow me on Instagram while you're over there at camaroEE. That was a shameless plug. I don't usually do shameless plugs. That felt weird. That was weird. But I think that's going to do it. This is just, it's solid. I like it a lot. I think it's just I'm going to have to spend more time with it in order to get any more, like, interesting commentary out of me. Although even then, maybe that doesn't even get any interesting commentary out of me, and it just remains a super solid ballad song that I like. Would I put it over the Prisma Pro, though? Because I know someone's going to ask me in the comments, Origin or Prisma Pro? I think the Prisma Pro is a little bit better to me because it's lighter and rounder. If you prefer heavier and blockier, though, I think this is your guy. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Woo! Goodbye.